Remember the look on her face that he was hurting her. Sorry. Sorry, y'all. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Stylish KENNA here, and today's video is basically a video situation that happened a few years ago when I was young, you guys, as a little kid. And basically the crazy thing is it's been on my heart to even bring up this conversation, and I'm gonna be doing my makeup in the midst of me doing this, telling you guys this story. And basically this story, I brought this story up a few weeks ago prior to the devastation of George Floyd. I was telling my daughter this story right before, a week before that situation happened, and I'm not sure why this situation was on my heart to even tell her, and then yet I feel like I want to share my story with you guys. Not necessarily experienced, but I witnessed a racial act. I just felt the need that I want to share you guys the story, you know, what happened. And honestly, I want to say I was young. I was like a little girl. My sister was younger than me, and she was there, but she didn't even fully remember what pretty much happened. I was a little older, but I was still young at the time, young enough to, like, it traumatized me. It stuck with me for years. Here I am now, the age that I am, grown, and it's still like, it sticks with me from this day. Like, it's no matter what, I'm gonna always remember this moment. So I don't want to be talking too much and forget what I'm doing. So you guys, basically, I'm just telling you guys an experience where I witnessed racism, and kind of don't want to talk about, like, you know, historical stuff like that, simply because it's like very overwhelming to me. The fact that I know what my ancestors did, I know what my grandfather, especially my grandfather, you guys, I know what he did and what he stood for, and what he, you know, he brought to me as an African American. If you don't mind, let me just be back. Let me do these brows first, and then your girl be back. So I cleaned my brows up just a little bit, not too much. I know I'm going to have to go back and finish them off, but I want to go ahead and get straight to the story so I can tell you guys. So few years ago, like I said, I was a young girl. I'm from Mobile, Alabama, small town, Mobile, Alabama. Born and raised, been there all majority of my whole life. Moved away when I was 26 years old. And it was this store that my parents, my siblings, everybody, family, everybody would go to this particular store in the neighborhood. And you guys, I would always, like, this store, the clerks, everybody in the store knew who we were, simply because we've been living in a neighborhood for years, and everyone knew us, pretty much. Everyone knew us. If they didn't know by our name, they pretty much knew us from our face. So at this particular store, they always had a security guard. The security guard, he pretty much sat, like all security guards, they sit at the front of the store, they guard the front of the store, guard people coming in and going out. So this particular security guard, always, from what I can remember, he always worked there. Like, but he never really said much. If he even did speak, I don't really remember if he spoke or not when we walked in the store. But he I would always see him at the front of the store with his black shirt, khaki pants. My sister and I was the type of little girl who would always go in a store and grab the magazines. I always wanted to, my mom used to always buy us magazines and have us pick a magazine that we want. So in order for us to pick the magazine we want, we would grab some magazines while she's shopping in the store. We would walk with her and just flip through the pages and see which one we wanted so she can buy them by the time we would get to the register. It never failed. Every single time I went into this particular store, I always picked up a magazine. It never failed. It was like a routine that I had, that I would pick up. My sister and I will pick up a magazine. So I want to say one Sunday afternoon. I want to say it's a Sunday. Maybe not. It maybe wasn't a Sunday. But it was one afternoon, me and my mother and my younger sister, we went to the store to grocery shop to buy free groceries for the house. Before we even would get to the store, my sister and I would always be like, oh, when we get there, we're going to get a magazine. I know which one I'm going to get a magazine. We would either ask my mom, like, Mom, can you get us a magazine? Can we get a magazine when we go with you? We want to get a magazine. So we would always rush to go to the store with her, and we never wanted her to leave us because we always wanted a magazine. I don't know what it was with magazines. I just used to like looking at them, watching pictures and stuff like that, seeing what was going on. That was just like a routine of ours that we did every time we went into the store. So we pulled up. Now the store is not far from the house. It didn't take us no time to get there. Literally, I used to walk to this store with my cousins. That's how close the store was to from where we live. Pulled up to the store in the parking lot. Pretty guy. He's in the same spot that he's always at every time we go to this particular store. Now, when you first, with the front of the store, and you have the double doors that when you walk up, they open up, right? So he's like right here. So when we walking in, he's like right here. But also you have, when you walk in, you can walk straight in to an aisle, like an aisle with the foods on the side. So it was like a register. I think it's like 2 or 3 registers in the grocery store. So it's like a register, but you can also see the aisle directly from the door. So, and the magazines, of course, they was right at the register. So as soon as we would walk in the store, we would go straight to the magazines. Like, Mom got the basket, going with the basket, we going straight to the magazines. That was like the first thing we did. So, but like I said, everybody in the store, pretty much everybody in the neighborhood knew who we were. So, and back then, like, my mom, like now, my daughter couldn't go in the store and just run off. But we did that. Like, we would go in the store and go straight to the magazine. We would find her eventually in the store, you know, walking around. She was going to find us. So we would go grab the magazines, and then once we grabbed the magazines, we would go to wherever my mom was at in the store and find her. So as soon as we get there, we first thing I do, I grab the magazines and I begin to look at the magazines as I'm walking. Me and my sister, she had one, and I think I had like 2 or 3 maybe in my hand, because I used to go magazine crazy. As I'm looking through the magazines, like, oh, I'm about to get this one, talking amongst my sister or whatever, the security guy, he comes behind us. He comes directly behind us. He's like, hey, put the magazines down. Do not, he was like very, very like forceful talking. He was like, put the magazines down. Do not take the magazines away from the shelf. Keep them at the front. He was like, don't pick up the magazines. You guys can't see the magazines. And at that moment, when he, like, even raising him in his voice, I was like, I can remember I was looking at a shock like, oh my god, like what did I, like what did I do, what happened, like what was wrong. I was scared, but at the same time my mom was actually coming around the aisle. She was literally like, she was just in time to come around the aisles, and as she come around the aisle, she hear him. My knowledge, she's hearing him from wherever she was speaking to us. So in her mind, she's probably thinking like, I hear a man talking to somebody, telling some kids or someone to put something back. Those got to be my kids. Like, we wasn't with her, so I'm assuming she's thinking like, oh, those got to be my kids he's speaking with, in this toneful, manly voice. Now, he's not a slim man, he's not a heavy set man, but he's a big guy. Like, he was pretty big in height. He had a little bit of weight. Obviously, he's a security guard, but he was definitely a Caucasian security guard. And when I looked up, I could see my mom looking, coming around the curve, and her words were, "Excuse me, don't speak to my kids, come to me." Sure, she heard the tone in his voice, because I was scared, like, oh my god, we in trouble, like this is security guard. I'm a little kid, I'm thinking security guard is gonna arrest me. So he's like yelling at us about looking at some magazines. So my mom's like, hey, don't speak to my kids. If there's an issue, come to me, I'll handle it. So my mom immediately said, you guys take the magazines back to the front. But at the same time, I see her and this guy exchanging words. So I'm thinking like, oh my god, I'm scared at this point, because I really don't know what's about to happen. Y'all, I might be bad at telling stories, so sorry. From what I can remember, I began to take the magazines back to the front. As I'm walking to take the magazines in the back, I hear him telling her to get out. He was like, you and your kids, get out. Get out. And my mom's like, I hear her, I'm shopping, I'm buying groceries, I'm not leaving, I'm shopping. Like, they're putting the magazines back, I'm shopping, I'm not finna go nowhere. I hear those particular words saying, I'm not finna go nowhere, I'm shopping. Here I'm walking a little bit slow, simply because I'm scared, and I'm trying to look to see what's going on. Like, I'm trying to, like, mom, like, look as I'm walking, like, oh, like what's gonna happen. I didn't want to leave my mom. Number one thing, I did not want to leave her. So I see him, he's telling her to get out. Mom like, no, I'm not leaving, I'm shopping. I'm just adding a little bit some to these brows, you guys. Not brows, but to this look. Soon as I got right to the front, we're putting the magazines up, I see the basket kind of shift a little bit, and from my knowledge, it looked like my mom was like, forget this, I'll leave type thing, because the basket was here. I'm trying to show y'all. The basket was like here. My mom was like on the side of the basket. I'm thinking, oh, she's like, oh, I'm about to leave, whatever. I put the books down. The moment I put the books down and turned my head, seeing my mom getting ready to walk away, the moment she's walking away, he grabs her. It's hard to describe right here, but he grabs her right arm. He grabs her arm, puts her arm all the way, I'm gonna show y'all. He puts her arm like all the way back, and with his right hand, and he had his left hand at the back of her neck, push, like they're meeting together. Like, I don't know if y'all understand how I'm trying to show y'all, describe these, but it's kind of hard to describe. But he's basically got her head like this, downward, hand like this, and he's pushing her down, and he's pushing her like, but walking with her at the same time. When I saw that, I immediately like, I started screaming and was like crying. I was like, mom, like what the heck? Like, I was just so confused, and I was just so scared, and I was just crying, and I could just remember the look on her face. Oh, y'all, it's gonna make me cry. Y'all, sorry. Why did I pick up to do makeup? with this type of video. But I can remember, oh yeah, I'm about to cry. I can remember the look on her face that he was hurting her. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I can tell that from the look on her face that he was definitely hurting her, and it was definitely wrong. I honestly can't remember where my sister was at this time. I just remember me standing by the magazines, putting the magazines away, and brings her towards where I was standing. I began to walk with her and telling him stop, stop, screaming and crying. He then, when he got to the door opened, and he then slung her out like she was some trash or something. So it's time when he sling her out the door. At that moment, she's crying, she's upset. Oh my God, I was just like, oh my God, like, what is going on? History was one of my favorite subjects growing up in school. You know, you hear about it, I read about it, like I knew everything that happened with, you know, back in the days, 60 years ago. But as a kid, you don't think it'll actually happen until you experience it yourself and see it yourself. My mom immediately jumps in the car. We jump in the car. She's like, come on, come on. I can't believe he put his hands on me. I can't, like, honestly, I couldn't even believe it, y'all. I was just crying. I was crying so bad. I was so shooken up. My mom was so shooken up, you guys. Like, I was mad. Like, I was like, let's go. In my mind, I was thinking, let's go call my brother. Let's have my brother. Da 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 da. We already know the security guard. He the security guard that's been there. Da da da. Like, I was angry. The workers there, they witnessed it. They knew who my siblings and my sister were from always coming in the store. Like, they was even in shock of what was going on. The workers was like, oh my God, like, they were, I remember seeing one girl standing there looking like, what the heck just happened? Like, so the moment we jumped in the car, we lived far. My mom sped to the house where my dad was and trying to brace herself to not get other people involved and trying to think about the right way to do it, because my brothers wouldn't have never thought, oh, let's do this the right way. They would immediately would have went up to that store, and it would have been worse than what it had already been. When we got to our street, my dad was kind of standing in the kitchen, and he saw us pulling up through the window. So my mom sped up the driveway, and he was coming out because immediately he knew something was wrong from the way my mom came through the driveway. And as soon as we got there, she was telling my dad what happened. We was just crying. My dad telling my mom to, like, calm down, it's okay. And I can remember her saying that her back was hurting and trying to tell him what had happened. Immediately, I wanted to tell my brothers because I was just that mad. Like, I wanted to do something to him. Like, literally, y'all, I was so mad that I saw that. Like, I was just so mad, and I wanted to tell my brothers, but I knew my brothers, they would have reacted way different than calling the police, getting a police report, getting lawyers, your attorney, and stuff like that involved. So of course, my parents called the police. I can't really remember if they called the police, but we did go ahead. My parents did get an attorney, and we had to go to court and stuff like that. From that day forward, I told myself I would never step foot back in that store. I couldn't deal with facing that. Like, I felt like I was going to see that situation all over again. And once the family, everybody kind of knew what happened, he was still working there. He worked there for a while before they laid him off. And I think they laid him off after the court situation, but he was still the security guard there. And then we knew then, like, they wasn't going to do anything about it too much. Even the workers there when they was getting everybody's statements, the workers were even saying they was pretty much kind of siding with him, and they were African American. There were one African American who did side with him, which I didn't understand why, but eventually she wound up telling the truth after, you know, they got an attorney and things like that. And I personally had to go in and tell my side of the story and tell them what I saw and what I felt about the whole situation. So basically I told them exactly what happened, what I saw. Remember the question they asked me? They asked me, did I think it was right? But I told them that it wasn't right. He put his hands on her because she refused to leave, and that we were stealing. That's what I think he was saying, that we were stealing the magazines, and he put my mom out of the store because she refused to leave. I see her trying to walk away, but the moment she began to walk away, he comes behind her, shoving her and throwing her out of the store like she wasn't nothing. Like, I just don't get it. Explaining my statement, what happened, what I saw, and I felt like it wasn't right, because no matter if we had a magazine or not, it doesn't give, or your security guard away, it doesn't give you a right to put your hands on someone the way you did. Like, I would see if she was resisting arrest. You're not a police, so she can't be resisting arrest. Like, he was just totally overboard with a female with her 2 daughters shopping in a grocery store that my mom always, like, you guys, this grocery store been in the neighborhood for years. Everyone there knew who we were. Everyone there knew that my sister and I always picked up magazines. That was just something we did all the time. I don't know what it was. Parents, they went back and forth. They was going back and forth with the attorney and trying to get to an agreement. They wanted to settle. Like I said, I was a young kid, so I didn't know too much of like what was going on, the paperwork, or what was really going on. All I knew was what I saw and what I had to speak and tell my side and how I felt about it. It wasn't right, and no matter what she did or what she said to him, that it didn't give him a right to put his hands on her the way he did, because he did hurt my mom. She wound up having to go see a chiropractor and stuff for her arm, her back, and the back of her neck. Because all of that runs together, like the arm, the back, all of that runs together. So she heard it for many nights in pain because of that, the way he forcefully put his hands on her. And like I said, he wasn't no slim guy. He was a big cop. He was a big, not a cop, he was a big security guard. You have thought he was a cop. And yeah, so after that situation, you guys, it stuck with me. Seeing that never left my brain. It to this day, it never, like, I can see this guy's face. It traumatized me. From that day forward, I thought about it many nights. I dreamed about this situation many nights, you guys. Eventually they did fire him. He do not work there anymore. Sorry, you guys, camera cut off again. The fact that I brought up this story a week ago, a week before the tragedy with George Floyd, I was telling my daughter the situation about something came on TV about, I forget what it was, a movie or something, commercial came on TV that reminded me of him. And I immediately started to tell my daughter the story about what happened to her grand. And just explaining to her, all because the simplest little thing could escalate to something way more worse. So I always try to guide her to always do the right thing, regardless of what. When you do the right thing, it just make everything just so much better. And I feel like the need to tell her, because it was something that I feel like she needed to know. And then what a coincidence, this is going on today, still going on today. Like I said, my ancestors, my grandfather Floyd King, he walked many streets. he was on the side of Dr. King for many years before he passed away. And the fact that I have a daughter that's didn't heard these stories, and I'm always trying to educate her and tell her, let her know like what happened and what they had to go through. So it's very important to me that I just share certain things with her. There was times where I couldn't even sleep at night. I would cry, I would dream about that man's face. I would dream about him grabbing my mom, throwing her out of the store, like waking up sweating at night, like, oh my god. Like, I wouldn't even go in the store. Like, I was traumatized about going in any store. I feel like the security guard was gonna put us out. From that day forward, I never picked up a magazine in a store. To this day forward, you guys, I never picked up a magazine. That traumatized me from ever picking up a magazine in a grocery store. I myself would see a magazine and would just look at the front cover and be like, I wonder what's inside. But I never get the urge to pick it up, to look at it, to see if I want to buy it or not. That day, it just turned me against grabbing a magazine. Yeah, you guys, so pretty much I just wanted to share that with you guys, because like I said, I recently was talking about it. So I was like, all of this going on, let me just tell everybody the time I experienced it. A situation that should have never happened. And I say it should have never happened because my mom was actually leaving the store, and if he would have just let her walk on, the situation would have never happened. We would have never had to go to court. We would have never had to get, attorneys, and my mom would have never been hurting. I would have never been traumatized leaving the store. But the moment she began to walk away, that was the moment he began to grab her. Felt the need that he had to grab her and put her out of the store when she was literally walking out herself, simply because she had her kids. Now, I can't say what would have happened if we wasn't with her, but the fact that I knew my mom and she wouldn't like act a certain way, especially if her kids are with her, she's gonna like brush it off and be like, okay, blah blah blah. But the fact that she was leaving and then he felt the need to grab her, it made it wrong to me. Years later, I still wouldn't go into that store, you guys. I would just want to go in the store because I love that store, and like I said, it's been in the neighborhood for years. But from that day, it took many years for me to build the courage to go in that store. And this definitely, you guys, the store's still there to this day. It feels different to go in there. I've been in there like 3 or 4 times. I'll say 5 times since that incident. I don't live down there now, so obviously I don't go there, but my parents still visit this store. And I honestly don't know how my mom feels now going into the store knowing that happened. I might need to ask her how does she feel now going into the store, because she shops there now. But she did win her side. They paid her off and they fired him, and then it was just over with. I don't think he went to jail or anything for it. Definitely not. But he did get fired eventually, and but it took a while for him to get fired. He was still working there for a very while before they even fired him. He did not want to do anything about it, because I can remember when the attorneys would call and they would discuss the situation, I can remember my mom crying about it, like, oh my god, I can't believe that they like not trying to do nothing about it and things like that. But experience when I witnessed, racism, rest in paradise to Floyd, I really hate that situation happened. I'm a strong believer of everything happened for a reason, and God makes no mistakes. I hope our situation turn a lot of things around and show everyone just a different path to take and how to do things, because it's always a better way to do things. Like, It's not just one way to handle situations. Like, they used to handle things 60 years ago that way. You don't have to handle things that way anymore. Like, everybody not the same. We all are different. If we was the same, like who's to be different? Like, everyone's put in this world to be different. Let's just take that tragedy and make something good out of it, because I'm sure that's what he will want, that's what God will want, that's what, you know, our ancestors would want. They wanted us to take their situation and learn from it and grow. They didn't want us to have to go through what they went through. And it's sad to say that some of us are still going through the same situations. And like I said, my grandfather, Floyd King, Lord rest his soul, he probably, I'm sure, turned in his grave, because what he stood up for and what he marched these streets many years and stood up for civil rights leadership for many years, for this to be gone. And the fact that it's still here today, it's just say so much. And like I said, it's just so overwhelming seeing everything that's on TV, everything that's going on. I have a 7-year-old daughter, and I just pray and I pray that it ends, because I don't want her to have to grow up in certain situations and not knowing how to handle things, because my daughter see the good in everyone. Like, she's like amazing. Like, she see the good, she don't see no wrong in no one. And I don't want her to ever have to change that feeling because of the way someone is treating her. I always want her to, no matter how a person may treat you or say towards you, don't let that change who you are, because you know who you are, and don't ever forget that. But like I said, it's good seeing everyone stick together. Everyone should be proud of the way God made you. God made us this way. We can't help it. Like, we just can't help it. I feel like people are fighting the wrong people, fighting the wrong fight, fighting the wrong battles. You should be taking with all of your anger. If you're mad at anybody, you should be mad at the man above, because he the one created us to be the way we are. If he wanted everybody to be the same, he would have did so. So with that being said, he made everyone to be different. That being said, you guys, just make sure you wear your mask, stay safe. If you are going to do a protest, make sure you do it safely. I can't tell people how to protest, but I just hope you guys just stay safe in doing so. I don't want nothing to happen to anyone. I wanted to also, in this video, I want to show you guys a new product that will be on my site on Friday. This is my Marcel. They come in all different colors, but this color that is the crystal stoned, like the marble. It's like my nails. I don't know if you guys can see, like on my nails, it's like blend in. But these are my Marcels that will be on my website on Friday. You guys can purchase. They're very, very, very great quality Marcels. Like, they're heavy, they're not lightweight. They go up to 450 temperature, and you got the on and off button. They go up to 450 or 480, because I got the flat irons too. Let me show y'all the flat irons. These are the flat irons that also will be on my website on Friday. I will see their crystals too, you guys. And yeah, so they are very good quality. They come in every color: red, black, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, black, gold, any color that you can possibly think of. I have them, and like I said, these are very, very good quality flat irons, you guys. They go up to the temperature 480. These go up to 450. And yeah, you guys, they both will be on the site on Friday. So I will leave the link to my site down in the description bar or on the screen, so you guys can see it. www.stylishkenne.com. It's the same as my YouTube name, stylishkenne.com. So yeah, these will be available for you guys to shop and purchase. And yeah, if you need a good sturdy, something that's gonna last, something that don't feel lightweight, like my other ones I have, they are already out. I just bought them and they not near these. These are very, you can tell they're very good quality and they're gonna do the job. So yeah, so you see how I got these flat down. These are the reason why this is as flat as it is. So yeah, you guys, make sure you guys check them out for your purchase. And yeah, it's pretty much it for this video, you guys. For all this makeup, y'all, these Marcells got this hair laid straight to the back. And make sure you check out Stylish Kenne Units on Instagram for your wig, things like that. So that is it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this little story time of the time. Yeah, y'all already know. I just wanted to share that with you guys. It came back to me to tell my daughter, so I felt the need, well, why not do a video about it, telling you guys my experience. And I hate that that experience happened and that I had to witness that, but everything happened for a reason. Things are still happening, and to this day now, my daughter is here. I was a little kid back then, and my daughter is here, and it's still going on. So I just feel like I said, history was like my #1 subject. So I knew everything about historical, everything that happened 60 to 100 years ago. I was definitely on it. So for me, I took it as, oh, it happened years ago. I didn't think that it can actually happen in real life. So with me experiencing that and seeing that for myself, it took me to a whole nother level of like, this is still going on, and this is still happens 10-15 years later. It's still going on today. And I just wanted to show you guys my experience, how something so small can escalate so big. Or it could have been worse. In my mom's situation, it could have been worse. The fact that, you know, she was walking away and it still happened to her, it just tell a lot. That just speaks a lot. I understand it. I couldn't understand it for years, and to this day I still don't understand why it happened. And I fought myself for it for a long time. I kept saying I would never pick up a magazine. I hated that I picked up that magazine that day. And yeah, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, find some type of knowledge or courage to always do the right thing. I'm gonna put some lip gloss on. I ain't put no lip gloss on, y'all. So I got this lip gloss from my local, it's the Irish Bell Ultra Rich Shine, I can't see, lip treatment oil. So I bought this from my local beauty supply store, and I've been loving it. Yeah, so put a little bit, lips a little ash. Yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you like stuff like this, story times. I will be going home to Mobile, Alabama soon, so I will be pushing some content out for you guys, so you guys can stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.